Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Tales from the Veil. Tonight, I want to share a story that isn't about spooky specters or things that go bump in the night. Instead, it's a story about a different kind of magic, the quiet, enduring kind that sometimes, just sometimes, reaches across the veil. Our story begins in a small, cozy town, nestled among rolling hills, where an old man named Arthur lived alone. Arthur was a clockmaker. His little shop, Time and Tidings, was a local treasure filled with the gentle ticking and chiming of countless clocks, each one a testament to his life's passion. But there was one clock Arthur never sold. It was a beautiful grandfather clock, carved from dark cherry wood, with a face of mother of pearl. It had been a gift to his late wife, Eleanor, on their first anniversary. It hadn't chimed a single note since the day she passed away 30 years ago. He had tried everything to fix it, but it remained stubbornly silent, a quiet monument to his grief. One rainy Tuesday, a young woman named Clara ducked into his shop, shaking droplets from her bright yellow raincoat. She wasn't looking for a clock. She was a musician, and she'd heard a rumor that the old clockmaker had a collection of vintage music boxes. Arthur, usually reserved, found himself warming to her gentle curiosity. He showed her his small, private collection, and they spent the afternoon talking about melodies and memories, about how a simple tune could hold a lifetime. Clara started visiting every week. She'd bring Arthur coffee and pastries, and he'd tell her stories about the clocks. He told her about Eleanor, about her infectious laugh and her love for waltzes. He confessed his frustration with the silent grandfather clock. "It's as if the music died with her," he'd say, his voice heavy. One afternoon, Clara looked at the clock, then at Arthur. "May I try something?" she asked softly. Arthur, intrigued, nodded. She didn't open its back or inspect its gears. Instead, she pulled out a small, silver flute from her bag. Closing her eyes, she began to play. It was a simple, beautiful waltz, a melody that seemed to weave through the very air in the dusty shop. It was a tune full of hope, a little melancholy, but undeniably sweet. Arthur listened, his eyes welling up. It was Eleanor's favorite waltz. He hadn't heard it in decades. As Clara played the final, lingering note, a soft, metallic click echoed in the sudden silence. Then, a low, resonant chime. And another. The grandfather clock, silent for 30 long years, began to strike the hour. 1, 2, 3, 4. Its chime was as clear and rich as the day he had first given it to Eleanor. Arthur stared, tears streaming down his face. It wasn't the gears that were broken. It was the heart of the clock, waiting to hear its song again. It wasn't a mechanical failure. It was a memory that needed to be unlocked. He looked at Clara, who was smiling through her own tears. "How did you know?" he whispered. "Sometimes," she said, "things just need to be reminded of their purpose, of the love they were made with." It was never broken, Mr. Arthur. It was just listening for its music. From that day on, the clock chimed every hour, its song filling the little shop. And Arthur's shop was no longer just a place of ticking and talking. Clara would visit and play her flute, her melodies mingling with the chimes, creating a symphony of time and music. The old clockmaker had learned a valuable lesson, that some things aren't fixed with tools, but with kindness. That grief, like a silent clock, doesn't mean the love is gone. It just means it's waiting for the right melody to awaken it again. The veil between what is and what was, between love and loss, is sometimes thinner than we think. And every now and then, a simple act of kindness, a shared memory, or a forgotten song can reach across and make things whole again. Thank you so much for joining me for this tale. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Tales from the Veil for more stories from the edge of our understanding. Until next time, be kind and listen for the music. Good night.